Hey guys, Carl Reader here, and I'm delighted to be doing a series of ACCA videos to help you in practice. And today I'm going to address the burning question that so many practitioners have: to niche or not to niche? Now, for anyone who's followed me on social media or seen a bit about what my firms do, you will know that I sit extremely firmly in one camp. In fact, so firmly that you would need to prise me away from that camp. I am firmly of the view that as a practitioner, you need to know who your market are. You need to define your ideal customer. Because look, you've got two options. You can be a very generalist practitioner. You could take in anyone who comes in. You know what, you've probably got a high street shop, and if somebody comes in on the last minute before tax deadline and says, I want you to do my taxes and I want to pay you half of what you'd normally charge, you'd probably accept them because you haven't clarified who your core customer is. So that's the trap that you fall in as a generalist. Now, I'm not saying that you've done that, because you lot are all far too clever, far too intelligent to fall into that trap. But there are similar traps that you're falling into without realising. Your marketing spend is actually scattergun, because you might be focusing on a geographical location. You might be focusing on a pretty logo. But you know what? That doesn't address your client's needs, does it? You'll find that your staff are stretched because instead of dealing with similar businesses, they are dealing maybe day number 1 with a retailer, day number 2, food and beverage provider, day number 3 with a computer consultant, day number 4, a factory. They don't know what they're dealing with day to day. I think there's a better way than this, isn't there? What we've done as a firm is we've actually had 2 niche markets. There's a key takeaway there. You don't need to just have one. Our first niche market was martial arts schools. Now, we're based in the UK, and martial arts schools might seem like a really obscure niche to even the US, where martial arts is quite well established. In the UK, there's only 600 martial arts schools, and we started with a handful of clients, and do you know what? I thought, I like dealing with these people. I like what they're all about. I like the attitude towards personal development, and they're great guys to hang around with. So I started taking on more. I just asked them, do you know anyone who could benefit from our services? And before long, something really magical happened. I began to know more about a martial arts school owner's business than the business owner did. And do you know why? It's because I'd been to so many different martial arts schools that I could tell what the type of customer would be based on the demographics of the surrounding area. I could tell by looking at their dojo. So dojo is the phrase for the hall that they train in. I could tell by looking at their dojo the number of students they could fit in, which in turn I could work out at the top of my head how much they should be taking in tuition fees, in shop sales, in grading fees, in joining fees. I could tell exactly what their churn rate would be of students. I could tell exactly what the challenges that they'd be facing in their business would be. Now, I'll tell you what, if I was dealing with a retailer, then a food and beverage business, then a consultant, I wouldn't be able to offer that depth of advice. So it made us the go-to experts in that industry, and we ended up looking after about 250 of the 600. Our next niche market was franchising, and I'm not going to bore you with the same stuff, but clearly a lot of the same principles as with martial arts schools applied, in that if we looked after one franchisee, we looked after 100. If we looked after one franchisor, we looked after 100, and we knew their businesses. But there were some other things that arose from it. Firstly, in franchising, we were one of 3 accountants in a market of 44,000 businesses. Compare that to our local town of Swindon, where we're one of 60 with a marketplace of 2,000 businesses. Okay, you don't need to be an accountant to work out that the stats are far more stacked in your favour in a niche market. Secondly, we found that actually we could really influence the direction of the businesses within that industry. I did this in martial arts as well, by getting involved in trade bodies. So I became involved in the British Taekwondo Council. So in turn that helped, I helped the sport raise its Olympic funding and the grassroots funding. I got involved in various standards initiatives in franchising. I've been involved and served as both an affiliate chairman and as a board director of the British Franchise Association. I've even advised a nation on setting up a franchising industry within there in Tunisia, advising the high street banks on what they should be looking for, advising the investors from the US what they should be looking for, and so on. So you get involved with some really cool stuff that as a generalist accountant you would never see. But most importantly, You get to know the people behind the businesses. Look, business is changing. It's no longer B2B or B2C, it's H to H, human to human. And by going so deep within an industry, you get to know the people. You get to know their wants, you get to know their desires, you get to know what drives them. And you know what? That allows you to deliver so much more than just accountancy.